Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight.
Drama unfolds in the House of Assembly as parliamentarians begin debate on a resolution to lease space in the town center mall.
We have the public's reaction to that proposed 2% increase in tax for NHI.
Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Joaquin. Government will spend just under $1 million a year to lease space in the town center mall to house the General Post Office for 5 years. Debate on a resolution to enter the lease kicked off in Parliament this morning, sparking a heated back and forth between government and opposition members of Parliament. This as St. Anne's MP Brent Simonet declared his interest in town center mall. Jasmine Brown reports.
It was the first time that Simonet has spoken publicly since the controversy started, as he tabled several documents that outlined his shares in the company. The proposal to rent from Simonet is not without controversy. Simonet, a millionaire businessman, and his brother own the mall. Before debate on the resolution got underway, opposition leader Philip Brave Davis, who previously accused Simonet of being engaged in an obvious conflict of interest, insisted that the Constitution be followed and the House of Assembly go through the process of exempting the St. Anne's MP from having to vacate his seat. His demand is what led to Simonet disclosing his interests.
Mr. Speaker, it's wonderful to be the first in history. It's wonderful to be the first in history to have such a debate. I've had many other firsts, so now it's another first. Mr. Speaker, with your leave, I beg leave to lay on the table the annual statement for Blue Hill Shopping Road Centre Limited, which has been stamped in the Registry General October the 4th, 2018, which discloses the shareholders of Blue Hill Road Shopping Centre. And for the record, they are myself, 81 shares, my wife, 1 share, Dion Dean, Laura Smith, and Randy Smith at 1 share, BHRSC Holdings Limited, 9,610 shares out of 10,000, Furniture Plus, Tops and Jeans, and 71% Holdings Limited.
The minister then left the floor of the House of Assembly and sat in the gallery, but not before this quip at the opposition leader. He only returned after the House of Assembly agreed to exempt him from vacating his seat. However, the opposition voted against the move. Meanwhile, Transport Minister Renward Wells confirmed that the government planned on leasing approximately 75,000 square feet of space at a cost of $12 per square foot. That works out to be about $900,000 a year. Government plans on entering into a 5-year lease with the owners of the town center mall. Wells also revealed that the owners of the mall also agreed to pick up the tab to renovate the space at a cost of $3.6 million.
This decision will give us 5 years of comfort for the staff of the GPO, while we make that decision to locate and construct a permanent home for the GPO.
That work is expected to be completed and the General Post Office opened for business at Town Center Mall by Christmas Day. Garden Hills MP Brenzel Rowe also contributed to the debate and hit out at the former administration, which had considered housing the post office at the Town Center Mall, but later rejected it, citing high renovation costs and engineering concerns. Roll insisted the former administration's interest was no coincidence.
It is my opinion, Mr. Speaker, that the reason why they were so interested in the town center mall, because one of their boys was buying the town center mall. And they were securing government contracts for the town center mall at the time. A gentleman by the name of Phillipson was in discussions to buy the mall. It just happened, Mr. Speaker, that while a Phillipson fellow was trying to buy the mall, the PLP was trying to say this was a good deal. We can put the post office here, we can put the courts in here. That's a statement of fact, Mr. Speaker. That's a statement of fact.
This did not sit well with opposition members who jumped to their feet and demanded that Roll substantiate or withdraw his statements.
As I happen to have been one of the members on that committee, I object and I am asking him to withdraw that his assertion that the town center mall was recommended on the committee that I was a member of because one of the boys was seeking to acquire the town center mall. I don't care what the member for St. Anne's told him. I don't care, Mr. Speaker. I want that member to withdraw the speaker. I will not sit here and allow him to make that assertion. No, Speaker, I object. I'm asking to withdraw, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members.
I have to do this, Speaker.
Honorable members. Honorable members. On a point of order.
I am not objecting to the member reading what he's reading.
The Prime Minister is expected to wrap up debate on the controversial resolution tonight. Reporting for our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
All right, thanks, Jasmine. Well, the Free National Movement government has not done a single thing to positively impact the lives of Bahamians since taking office last year. That's according to Pine Ridge MP Frederick McAlpine, who accused his own party of campaigning against corruption and conflicts of interest on the campaign trail only to lease a building from one of its cabinet ministers. McAlpine says there is a perception among Bahamians that this move is a conflict of interest, and his constituents whom he polled overwhelmingly agree.
We spoke about the former Minister of Education and the former Attorney General as to their dealing with Bahama. We cussed them out for it too. We spoke about the former Minister for Grand Bahama moving the social service ministry into a building. We cussed him out for it, and I joined in the cussing. We said what we said was wrong yesterday cannot be right today. If it was wrong then, it's wrong now.
McAlpine says when confronted with criticism, the Minister administration's only comeback line is the PLP did it. He added Bahamians are tired of the blame game.
That's the only thing we could say. So we came in here, the PLP did it. We're supposed to be better. We're supposed to do better. We're known as the party of better. And we're supposed to know better. We're the ones. Let me remind you and all you who like to get on my case. We're the ones that shouted from the mountaintop accountability, integrity, and transparency. People are losing hope because we reneged on so many promises.
McAlpine pointed to BPL Chairman Donovan Moxey's business proposal to Bahamas Power and Light before his appointment and Works Minister Desmond Bannister's assertion that Moxey won't get a BPL contract. The Pine Ridge MP says the government cannot have one set of rules for some people and another set of rules for others.
We've not done one singular thing that has affected the masses of the people in this country in a positive way. Hold on. And let me tell you what we think we did that affected them in a positive way. Perhaps, now, let me say this, perhaps it's coming, but the ordinary man is yet to feel the government that they voted overwhelmingly for. We don't even feel the removal of VAT off the bread basket items due to the 60% increase in VAT from 7.5 to 12%.
McAlpine says the current resolution does not sit well with Bahamians who view the government's actions as hypocritical. He even suggested that the Minister administration go back to the last Christie administration's plan of building the General Post Office at the old Independent Shopping Center, which he pointed out is a stone's throw away from Town Center Mall.
We've been blinded by position, fame, name, and money. Our government must seek to change this position and perception. There are a lot of angry and disappointed people out there. And I ain't talking about PLPs, talking about F&M. Disappointed in our governance, disappointed in our legislative agenda, disappointed in many of our cabinet ministers, disappointed in many of our MPs, disappointed in our styles, disappointed in our performance, and disappointed in this resolution.
Well, revenue at the General Post Office is down by approximately $3 million, according to Transport Minister Ramrod Wells, who sought to make government's case for the relocation of the post office to Town Center Mall. Wells insisted the drop in revenue directly coincides with the rapid deterioration of the building on East Hill Street.
The current state of affairs for the members of the post office working half days at the GPO for the past 2 years has severely affected the revenue, which has dropped from around $5.5 million in 2012 to around $2 million in 2017. These losses reflected in revenue from sale of stamps, receipt of post meters, payment of foreign mail delivery, rent of private mail boxes, receipts in cash for repayment, commission on postal money orders, miscellaneous postal revenue, and air terminal charges.
Wells says an act of vandalism resulted in the government's abrupt decision to axe plans to relocate the post office to the old Phil's building on Gladstone Road.
The renovations for the Phil's Food Service building were also expected to cost
$4 million.
$4 million. I'm further advised, Mr. Speaker, that though and once the government took possession of the building, it was discovered that the building was stripped of electrical wirings, plumbing, and air conditioning components that were intended to be a part and parcel of the new renovations. This act of vandalism greatly increased the construction cost and the construction timeline.
In other news, a double shooting in Baintown has left one man dead and another in hospital in serious but stable condition. This latest incident has prompted authorities to beef up foot and mobile patrols in that inner city community. Jillian Gray has more.
30 officers in tactical gear swarmed Parker Street last night in response to reports of gunshots being fired. Head of the Central Detective Unit, Chief Superintendent Solomon Cash, says a group of men were sitting on a truck after playing basketball when a gunman opened fire on them.
Police responded to a gunshot report at this location, which is Parker Street and Palema Street. After arriving at the area, they discovered two victims who were shot multiple times. One of the victims was unresponsive. The second victim received medical attention from our EMS personnel from the Princess Margaret Hospital. He was transported to the hospital where he is undergoing medical attention. The other victim succumbed on the scene.
Family and friends flooded the area, some shouting obscenities, others sobbing uncontrollably. Officers had a difficult time calming the grieving community. This latest incident comes just 2 days after a gunman shot two men on Dorset Alley, killing 34-year-old Jamal McSweeney and leaving the other victim in serious condition in hospital. Authorities believe that incident on Sunday is gang-related. As a result, Cash says they expected retaliation.
Given the scope of our investigation, after having identified the victim to homicide such as the one on Sunday, yes, we anticipate some retaliation may arrive from it.
The two men shot last night are believed to be in their mid-20s. Superintendent Cash said authorities will beef up foot and mobile patrols in the area.
You will see an increase in resources, police resources in this particular area. Hopefully, we will cause a decrease or to eliminate this type of criminal activities from this particular area.
Bain and Grantstown MP Travis Robinson, who was on scene last night, said he heard the gunshots from his nearby home. Robinson stayed on scene comforting residents and speaking with officers. He offered condolences to the victim's family and said though the community is mourning, they do not live in fear.
We as a community, it's a hurtful time for us, but this is nothing that we haven't went through already. And just like the previous times, we will prevail, we will triumph over this. I certainly send my condolences out to the family. Had an opportunity to speak with the mother and the father and offer my words of encouragement and support for them. And like I said, the community, we are disappointed that this is happening, but there's no overly fear in the community because we know that the people that live in the community are still that strong, close-knitted community.
Police are appealing to anyone with information on this latest killing to contact them. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jillian Gray.
Thanks, Jillian. Well, as of December 10th, nurses in the public healthcare system will be working under a new shift system. The Public Hospitals Authority announced the new system today and insisted it would level the playing field for all nurses.
We
anticipate that there may be a reaction from them. We have dealt in good faith.
This announcement comes months after the Ministry of Health announced that the PHA would implement a 5-on, 2-off shift system for night duty nurses to eliminate the nursing shortage with hospitals in New Providence and Grand Bahama Health Services. The Bahamas Nurses Union insisted at the time that the government did not consult with the union before announcing the new system and called the move unwise and totally out of order. PHA Deputy Managing Director Lerone Burrows said this is something that needed to happen a long time ago.
Let's make sure that we understand what we're doing here. We're realigning the shift system to move from a 10-hour shift to 8-hour shifts over a 40-hour week.
PHA Managing Director Catherine Weech said the new shift system would eliminate issues caused by the 4 nights on, 4 nights off system, which resulted in night duty nurses working 157 days per year on average, compared to the 234 worked by nurses on the day shift. But there's more.
In consideration of this, the Public Hospitals Authority has agreed with the Bahamas Nurses Union to pay all nurses scheduled to work between the hours of 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. an amount of $1.75 in addition to their standard base hourly pay.
It's no secret that there has been a serious shortage of nurses in the public healthcare sector, particularly Princess Margaret Hospital. Burrows said the lack of manpower is partly to blame on the system currently in place.
So when you have a situation where nurses are working substantially lower number of days, it puts a strain on the organization. And that strain is met by putting other nurses on overtime. So moving to the shift system now creates the extra capacity. It doesn't eliminate the shortage of nurses, but it substantially reduces it.
Still to come, Bahamians sound off on a proposal to implement a 2% income tax. Stay tuned.